Hello, everybody in TeamTakeover.tv and YouTube, and everybody who shows me love, and all my subscribers. Wayne Shada here with my buddy Johan. Johan, say hello.
Hello, guys.
Where are you from, Johan? Good, good. Where are you from, Johan?
Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, bro.
Malaysia, people. I got people on my blog from Malaysia. Can you believe that? I've gone to Australia, 2 parts of Canada. I've been to California. I've been to Vegas. I'm now in Malaysia. I can't believe it. Thank you for coming on.
Johan, Asian country, man, on your blogs.
I'm telling you, it's an international affair at TeamTakeover.tv. So you guys keep watching my vlogs. We're gonna try to get every country in the world. But either way,
awesome stuff, right?
UFC 133, the injury plague show. Interesting show. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. What's interesting about the show, before I even begin, is the fact that this felt like a Strikeforce show when it came to timing. 5 fights went in like an hour and a half to 2 hours, I think, if I'm correct. So, I mean, pretty much you were able to see everything in a short amount of time. And in the land of Zuffa, where a lot of times, and it's everywhere, I'm just saying Zuffa, but for Zuffa, for example, we don't see finishes, and pretty much out of the main card, 4 out of the 5 fights came out with some type of ending. So we didn't see a lot of decisions. But either way, Johan, before we start, anything you want to say to everybody?
Wow, I thought we could save that for like the end, actually.
I'm just trying to play. I'm joking around with them. Listen. Here's the thing. I'm excited to have Johan on. I'm always excited to have new people in Team Takeover, especially, Chuck did a really good job in the last vlog, and I got over...
Yeah, I was impressed with his vlog.
Yeah, man, I got over 400 views on that last vlog, and I just a year ago, I'm starting this off, and I know this is no big success story, but almost like a year ago, I remember talking to Chris Fahrenheit, and he was the one who encouraged me, and I thought, wow, if I get like 40 viewers, and I earn my stripes here in Team Takeover, that people would be happy. I would never assume that I would have gotten over 400 views. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you for all your feedback, both positive and negative. And even my biggest hater, Aker. My biggest hater, Aker, gave me some props, so I'm appreciative of that. So we're going to start this off, Johan. First fight, Rory McDonald versus Mike Pyle. What did you think of the fight?
Well, it ended the way it ended. Really impressed with Rory McDonald. He is starting to grow on to me. He had a few wins under his belt, but I think people are beginning to hype him up a little too much. People saying that he could be the next GSP and all, and he's being a bit too humble, saying, no, I don't see myself being the next GSP. But to his credit, at least he finished his fight, whereas GSP hasn't finished the fight since, if we're talking finishing fight directly, going back to UFC 81 when he finished Max Serra to become the UFC welterweight champion. So, not really much can say, but I'm really looking forward to watching a lot more Rory McDonald fights. For Mike Pyle, I guess this is his 2nd straight loss, so he still has a job with the UFC. Not really much I can say though, but it was a good finish by McDonald.
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought that if the fight went down to the ground or the mat, it would be an issue for McDonald, mainly because Pyle's so strong on the mat. But McDonald kind of bullied him around a little bit. Pyle took some really, really heavy shots. McDonald comes out with the win. I kind of predicted that the fight that McDonald would win. Came as a surprise at how easily and more willing he was to go down to the mat. I mean, he did fight Nate Diaz and outlived Nate Diaz, who, I mean, he's a stud himself. McDonald's got a lot going for him. Man, I don't even know who do you want to see him fight?
Um, wow, this is a tough one. Who hasn't he fought yet? There's a lot of guys I think he could fight next. I'd love to see him go up against Duncan, I think. That could be a pretty good challenge for him.
Yeah, well...
What do you reckon?
I don't know who he's going to fight. I just want to see more of him. He doesn't look like he takes a lot of damage, so like maybe like 3 months, we could 2 to 3 months. It looks like we're going to see him fight again, hopefully. I'm all for him, man. At least he goes there and he tries. Even when he can't finish, he tries. You know, he tries to go for all out. So really, really nasty striking. He's very lanky. Kind of reminds me, as his physique reminds me of John Jones. So
yeah, sort of. Now that you mention it.
Yeah, so it should be interesting what the future holds. Powell's still a really, really tough fighter, so I'm sure he'll bounce back from this. That's much all I have to say about that. Second fight, Jorge Rivera versus Costa Philippou. I thought this fight was going to be fight of the night, going to be a real slugfest. Both guys don't like to be on the mat. But it seemed that, like, throughout maybe it's just me, but half of the fight was on the mat. Rivera looked like he gassed after the first round. And Philippou, it was an all right fight. The crowd was booing. Both guys were trying their best. Just Rivera seemed like he was gassed. Either way, Rivera loses. It was a close fight. I agree with the decision. Anything you want to say except for the fact that it doesn't look like, from what I saw online today, it doesn't look like Rivera's done in the UFC. What do you think?
Well, my stream kind of went bonkers during that fight, but from what I saw, Rivera's got pretty good stand-up, so that's really nothing much that can be said. No surprises there. I haven't really seen Philippou fight before, so that was like first time seeing him, and I like him. I like his style. He and Rivera kind of had a pretty good chemistry together in that fight, but like you said, I didn't think none of us thought that this fight would go to the ground a lot, and UFC fans being very fussy and all, continue booing these guys and stuff. But like you, I agree with the decision. I thought Philippou deserved the win.
So yeah, there's not much to say about this fight. And as far as the whole show, there's not really much to say about it. Third fight, Dennis Hallman versus Brian Ebersol. You want to start off with this? I have so much to say about this fight. You can go ahead.
Oh boy, where do I begin? First and foremost, got to give props to Dennis Hallman for wearing the Speedos in that fight. Apparently, I just found out that he actually wore the Speedos because he lost a bet with a few fighters. So, well, that pretty much explains how he ended up with that. Ending up in the losing end of the bet. I think Hallman's a pretty good fighter. I like his style, him being a catch wrestler and all, and he was really trying to hold Ebersol down to the ground, but I don't know, rewatching this fight again, it seems to me that, I don't know about you, Wayne, but it seems to me that Hallman seems to be more concerned about his his shorts popping out and causing a wardrobe malfunction rather than trying to get the fight going and stuff. But great job by Brian Ebersol. He looked really, really aggressive in that fight. Really impressed with his hammer fists, his elbows and stuff. Really he's trying to kill Dennis Hallman, or I don't know. He was probably trying to end the match quickly so that nothing else comes out from it. But for what it was worth, it was a fun match. Even though wardrobe malfunction and whatnot, it was pretty good.
Dude,
what do you think?
When I first saw this, I couldn't stop laughing. I almost had a stroke laughing. First off, here we go. Here we are thinking that Ebersol was gonna, upstage everybody in this show, and with the hero, and Holman comes out and with the Speedos. I was dying laughing. I had to take a double look because I've seen tights on, but those are Speedos, man, and it's funny as hell. I laughed, you know. I mean, is it inappropriate? Who am I to say? I laugh at like the silliest of things. What was surprising to me was yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know, maybe if Dennis Hallman were to fight in like Dream or somewhere where he gets to fight guys who wear speedos like Minoan Man or Katsuyori Shibata, I think that would have made sense. But in the UFC where there's so much lay and pray going on and a lot of fights go to the ground and there's a lot of stalling here and there, these things tend to happen. So it was a huge risk, but he's got to do what he's got to do, I guess.
Yeah, so Ebersol, you know, getting back to the fight, you know, the Ebersol came in immediately. Hallman had his back, which is surprising to me since you know, Ebersol I would have thought would have been able to shake that off. Either way, Ebersol. It's so funny how just calm he is in the ring, you know, in the octagon. Ebersol has this natural calmness to him, and obviously he's got a ton of experience. But sometimes with guys, when they come to the UFC that they've been fighting God knows where, they usually start to have a little bit of jitters. Ebersol has not shown that in the 2 fights that he's been in. Not once has he seemed like he was in complete danger in this fight. And even when Hallman had his back, I didn't think Ebersol was going to be submitted or anything. Ebersol, just nasty grounded pound, finishes Hallman. Really happy to see that. I'm really happy to see Ebersol win because I want to see more of Ebersol. He just is a funny character, and I just like the guy. I root for him now. I said I'd root for him for the last fight, and I definitely rooting for him today. This past event. Hopefully we see more of him.
The way I see it,
yeah,
with Hallman wearing the speedos and Ebersol with his chest there, it's like, man, it's not like the UFC puts on a lot of freak shows these days, so that's kind of like one of it.
Yeah, it was different. It was different. I have no problem with it, man. Everybody's got to lighten up, man. I mean, if you watch shows like Jackass and all these things, you see ton of this stuff. I don't know if they have Jackass in Malaysia, but I mean,
yeah, it's pretty popular here, though.
It's good. I mean, that type of humor is good everywhere in the world. I mean, you can't not laugh at that stuff. But I mean, nonetheless, Ebersol looks like he wants to fight Matt Serra. Matt Serra looks like he's out of shape just from this event. So I don't know if that's going to happen. I'd like to see. I just want to see Ebersol fight again. So I mean, it is what it is. The future looks bright for Ebersol. I don't know if he's ever going to be in title contention, but there's only time will tell. He doesn't look like he's slowing down, and he looks like he's ready to go. So. I mean, for what it's worth, McDonald hardly got a scratch on his face. Ebersol, these guys are fresh to go. So hopefully, if we have like an injury-plagued UFC like we did this time, maybe we could drop these guys in because they look like they're ready to go. So
definitely,
Hallman upstaged Ebersol. Nothing much to say. If anything,
I don't know whether Hallman's going to still be in the UFC because of that.
No, I don't think. I think the internet would go crazy. Everybody's got to lighten up about this. And what's sad is that this event seems like it's going to be remembered because of these tights. You know, so
yeah,
that's all it seemed like. All I heard about was the tights, the speedos. So Hallman did good. So. Fourth fight.
What's the term that they've been using these days? Banana hammock or something like that?
I have no idea, man.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing too.
So, it is what it is, man. Fourth fight: Vitor Belfort versus Yoshihiro Akiyama. Man, am I disappointed in this fight.
Oh man. Well, you know, about 3 years ago, I was studying in Australia, and there was this small Japanese mini market where I get to rent some JMMA DVDs. Not much on the price side, but it had a lot of Heroes DVDs as well. So from there, that's how I became a really huge fan of Akiyama. How I pretty much was an Akiyama fan before this whole Sexyama craze started. So you know, he's been going around beating guys like Melvin Manoff and Dennis Kang when he was in Heroes, and when he went to Dream, he had those 2 fights. And when he went to the UFC, I was a little worried, of course. I wasn't sure whether he was ready for the big time. I mean, he's a great fighter, no doubt about it. But you know, the UFC guys are, for lack of better term they are they are a different breed of fighters compared to what he's used to facing in Japan. So I don't know, man. I mean, the thing that disappoints me about Akiyama is that he loves to go for this whole stand and bang game plan that he's been doing since he first came to the UFC. I don't know whether he started it out when he fought Dennis Kang in the final Heroes event, because he did knock Kang out. I don't know if it had anything to do with him not wearing a gi in his fights, but I don't know, man. I mean, I don't understand why he keeps going for the whole striking aspect of the game when he could actually maximize his judo capabilities to his fullest. And you know, considering that this is his third straight loss, and you would expect that from his last fight against Bisping, he knew where he went wrong. And of course, going back to his fight with Lieben as well, I'm not really sure how his cardio is holding up. He seems to be doing pretty well, but man, he's got to change his game plan. This whole stand and bang thing is not going to work out for him. Either that, or he should just move down to welterweight and fight guys in that weight class instead. I don't know about you, Wayne, but I'm just about as disappointed as you are.
I hope he does go down to 170. 185 has some tough strikers. You know, I mean, Bisping's got a glass jaw. I don't consider Bisping like this lethal striker, but Lieben, I mean, guys like look at Vanderlei could still throw bombs. He could still knock you out.
Yeah.
You know, when you got...
And this is who Akiyama wants to fight so badly.
Yeah, you got Vitor, you've got Anderson, you know, Chael Sonnen could hold his own when it comes to striking. It just seems like a bad division for him. I thought he was going to go to the judo with this. I think he's crazy to go after Belfort on the feet, on the stand up.
Same here.
I was kind of shocked.
It makes you wonder whether he actually did his homework studying Vitor Belfort and knowing that Belfort has like strong hands and great combinations and stuff like that. It's foolish to go and stand and bang with a guy like Belfort. You know, I mean, and. Yeah, that's the thing that bothers me a lot about Akiyama, and it still bothers me up to today, actually.
So I mean, out of this whole event, I mean, obviously the main event and the co-main event were really important to me, but really upset about Akiyama losing. I'm upset that he got hit in the back of the head twice. They make a lot of people. I don't know. Is it true that they're making some type of case with the state commission? I hear that they're investigating it, whether or not they think that the punches to the back of the head are what caused him to go out. Whether or not that was an issue, I mean, I'll take it as a no decision if the commission does it, because I like Akiyama. But I'll be the first one to admit I think Akiyama was out. I don't think. If he was intending on...
like he was out anyhow.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he was... He looked like he was on the way to a loss just from those shots that he took. So, hopefully the UFC doesn't cut him.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's his first knockout in like 6 years, I think. So, his first knockout loss, that is. I don't know whether the UFC will cut him, because he is a pretty big asset when it comes to... penetrating the Japanese and Korean markets, considering how big and popular he is over there in those two countries. But especially with the UFC going to Japan either next year or so, I think the UFC will probably keep him a bit for a while. Maybe if he loses his next fight in Japan, then they'll probably cut him. But well, even if he does get cut, he'll go back to Dream, depending on whether Tadaharu Tanikawa is still running it, or he could go to One Fight Championship in Singapore, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, he'd be a big star. I don't think the UFC is going to cut him. I think that they're going to give him that 170. They're going to try to talk him into going down to 170. I don't know how that's going to affect his cardio. Vitor wants to, but I hope he gets success out there. There's more grapplers at 170 than there is at 185. So, hopefully the
perfect for him.
I hope he goes down to 170. Vitor asks for a title shot. I don't see that happening anytime soon. I don't want to see it happen. I mean, Anderson made him look like a fool. So as long as Anderson's champ, I don't know if I'm interested in seeing a rematch now. Maybe like in the next year after 2 bouts, if he finishes guys, then I'm willing to see that. But when it comes to Vitor, I don't really care to see him fight the champ.
I guess Belfort will probably fight either Bisping or Mayhem Miller, one of those 2 guys who are like coaching TUF at the moment. They'll probably fight one of those guys before getting an eventual title shot, I guess, because I'm pretty sure either Bisping or, especially Bisping, because he's been around for quite a long time, and Jason Miller are probably the next 2 guys who are in line for a title shot against either Anderson Silva or Yushin Okami. So
yeah,
I think
Akiyama got too. Akiyama had like the short end of the straw with this fight. I think to go from Bisping and Lieben to Belfort, it looks like he was going up with competition. He should have been maybe gotten somebody more at his level. But a loss is a loss. He's got to sign a contract. So if he was willing to fight Belfort, he was willing to do it. 5th fight and main event, Rashad Evans versus Tito Ortiz. Evans looked like he just overpowered Tito. His striking's gotten a lot better. He looked fresh. I was kind of shocked that he was going after Tito. At one point, Tito almost pulled off the win. He had a pretty deep guillotine in. Didn't have it all the way. I think it would have been a huge win if Tito won that. But Evans dominated him. Seems like he held him down, and the wrestling prevailed. Second round, there's not much to say about this. He kneed him to the chest, to the solar plexus, and Ortiz went out. Rashad looks like he's ready to go. I didn't see any type of ring rust there, which is shocking to me. I thought this fight would not have ended the way it did. I was glad to see Ortiz had a second or 2 more from the ref to try to compose himself, to see if he was willing to fight more, so it wasn't stopped so quickly. There's not much to say about this main event except the fact that Rashad is back. He's impressive. There is no ring rust. He's definitely a threat to John Jones or Rampage. I'd say even more to Rampage. What do you think, Johan?
Actually, this fight is kind of like it brings a bit of sentimental value for me because the two of them had their first fight at UFC 73, and that was the very first UFC pay-per-view I actually ordered when when they offered, like, the cable TV provider here in Malaysia offered UFC pay-per-views, but they don't offer it now, sadly. I gotta agree with what you said. Rashad Evans looks really, really good. His stand-up has improved. Props to Tyrone Spong for training him. I mean, going back to Vitor Belfort and now Rashad Evans, I guess the good thing, especially for guys like me who are really into K1, it's really good to see that these guys are turning to K1 fighters to, like, improve on their striking. I can't remember, one fighter did have Ernesto Hoost in his corner for one of the UFC fights. It was probably like 2 years ago or last year, I can't remember, but it's good to see them, acknowledging these guys and saying, you know what, I want to improve on my striking. Let me work with you. I know you guys are like world-class level strikers, and I think we all can say that Rashad Evans used to be this really boring fighter last time, but his striking has improved tremendously, and if he keeps up with this, he could be he can be a huge threat to Rampage, and more so to John Jones if these 2 guys do end up fighting in the future. His wrestling is, what can be said about Rashad Evans' wrestling? It's one of the best in the UFC. Tito Ortiz, no loss there. I mean, he had a pretty impressive win over Ryan Bader last month, I think. And he almost got that win with a guillotine choke, but the huge slam that Evans gave him, and then the knee to the gut as well. I don't see no shame for Ortiz in losing. He did put up a great fight, but those body shots, those head shots as well, it did hurt him. It did sap away his stamina and stuff. So nothing much can be said. But I was really happy the way the fight went. Really happy. In fact, I'm looking forward to seeing Rashad Evans fight again. I think he's beginning to really impress me, and he's really opened my eyes to seeing what he's capable of doing now that he's got this new camp and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, Rashad gets booed and he gets a lot of heckling from fans. I don't understand it as much, but yeah, I'm kind of more looking forward. I'm looking forward now more to this John Jones fight. If it happens, I think it's going to be a really, really good fight. Really, truly.
For Rashad Evans for his stand-up.
Yeah, really, truly. That's pretty much it when it comes to this event. Nothing really exciting except the fact that Holman came out with Speedos. This is what this event is gonna. This is what this event's gonna be known for. Are these the Speedos and Dana White's reaction to it? Uncle Dana was flipping out about it. I think a little too much. I think he needs to.
Some guy commented on Middle East's article, and then he was saying that he was saying that the chances, like, what happened if Dennis Holman gets fired, and it's like, a dick firing a dick. So
yeah, exactly.
What are they gonna call this? Ultimate Speedo Championship from now on? I don't know.
Man,
but
I mean,
like you said, that is what the event is going to be remembered for. If people are going to be talking about this whole issue with Holman and the Speedos and his wiener dropping out and stuff, then sadly that's what it's going to be known for. And the fact that Ebersol got paid like a bonus just for getting the match over and done with, that alone says something.
Yeah, I mean that's pathetic. That's 70 grand. That's pathetic. Really, that's just you should have never said that publicly. Nonetheless,
exactly.
That's it. That's it for this event. Johan, do you have anything you want to add or say or plug or anything? I'm so happy to have him because this is Malaysia. I mean, we finally got somebody from. I mean, this is amazing, man. I just can't. I'm so happy he came on, man. And what's great, Johan is really, really involved in kickboxing and Muay Thai, if I'm correct, right?
Well, I practice Crazy Monkey Defense. Got a T-shirt on here.
Yeah.
It's pretty much MMA. It has like kickboxing, a lot of boxing elements because that's where it originated from. There's some grappling involved, so there's takedowns and stuff like that, and there's also a component called Monkey Jits, which is pretty much the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu component of the art. And we've got a seminar coming up later on this month with the head trainer from South Africa coming over, and a few other crazy monkeys from all over the world are going to be coming for the seminar as well. So it's going to be pretty tough on me because this is the second time I'm going to the seminar and I have to fast as well. So it's going to be quite a challenge.
Yeah. So aside from that, anything else you want to add? Plugs?
Well, I'm pretty sure you guys know this. I was part of Sasuke Malaysia, which is like the Malaysian trials of Ninja Warrior as well. And I'm not exactly sure when it's going to be shown. Hopefully later this month or early next month. But I'll keep you guys in the loop. If you guys got me on Facebook, Twitter, and even Google Plus as well, I'll definitely keep you guys in the loop. Another thing that I was sort of directly involved behind the scenes is the Challenger Muay Thai, which is like successor to the Contender Asia. I've been logging and transcribing interviews of these fighters and even some of the trainers as well, and it was a pretty good experience. There were some stressful moments, but great to learn about what these guys go through, their mindset going to the fights and stuff like that. And I had the privilege of seeing some of the fights and a lot of great talents from like Malaysia's own Faisal Ramli, for instance. You've got Marco Piquet, who's one of the top kickboxers in Holland. Vissel Colossus is going to be competing on ONE FC's inaugural show on the undercard. Jordan Watson, who's really good, one of the fighters to look out for. Let me see who else. There's Tom Matsui, who is the only Thai fighter in the show, who is really, really good as well. If you guys are like fans of Wakao and Yat Senkla and all those other great fighters, you will like this guy too. It's going to premiere on AXN on September 15th. They're still working on a deal on getting the show to air in the United States, in the UK and Australia, but when new details emerge on the broadcasting times, I will let you guys know about it on Facebook and Twitter. And another thing I want to plug is just recently, IQ Wrestler and I, good friend of yours, good friend of mine too, we just started a podcast of sorts called Shining Triangle, where we'll be discussing about the latest happenings in the combat sports world, be it MMA or kickboxing. And we'll also do stuff on Japanese pro wrestling as well, because that's what we're into too, as well. So yeah, there really isn't a set like time or day when we do it. We just do it whenever we feel like it. So we'll definitely keep you guys posted on when the next podcast will be on.
All right, well, there you have it, people. A lot of things happening for Team Takeover. You're going to see a lot of things in the future, because we are really not only covering Zuffa-related shows, we're covering everything when it comes to combat sports. Johan, thank you so much for coming on. I'm going to have you in the future.
Shout out to Team Takeover and Iron Fortress Iron as well.
Yes, and keep on watching the vlog. Definitely look at the more stuff or the comments. I'm going to be plugging a lot of what Johan and Jacob, IQ Wrestler, and a lot of the things that we have coming for you guys, because we have such a wealth of knowledge and talent coming from this website. I'm telling you, we're really going to shake up the web. But nonetheless, Johan, thank you so much for joining me. Looking forward to having you on more again. And
thanks so much for having me on too, Wayne.
Yeah, greetings.
I really appreciate it.
Greetings from Brooklyn, New York, from Brooklyn to Malaysia. We have you here.
Man. Team Takeover is going global, man.
It really is, man. We got people from England everywhere.
The world already.
Man, Gumby, where are you? Gumby. Either way.
What?
Shout out to he doesn't even know who Gumby is. Shout out to everybody in Team Takeover and Iron Fortress Iron who posted up my vlog, and everybody on Twitter. Add me and Johan, and thank you so much for watching. You have a rest of the happy Ramadan, right?
Yeah, thanks a lot, bro.
Yeah, and
I'll be looking forward to the end of the month as well.
Yeah, and thank you everybody for watching. Please comment, subscribe, add, and talk to you guys later.